Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mastering English Podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sam.
So we are doing a deep dive today that I think hits on a really big problem. It's this thing that happens to almost every intermediate English learner. You know, you hit that B1 level.
Right.
You're feeling good. Your grammar is solid. You can read articles. You can follow a conversation. Sort of.
You think you're almost there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you try to watch a movie without subtitles.
Oh, yeah. The classic test.
And it all just falls apart. It's like you get the main plot, maybe, but all the jokes, all the little emotional bits, they just fly right past you.
And you're left feeling like you've learned nothing. It's because you're running into authentic, unscripted speech for the first time.
That's it. It's those tiny little words that trip you up every single time. Phrasal verbs, these weird adverbs, compound adjectives, stuff like that.
It's the linguistic glue. And honestly, it's what separates speaking English correctly from speaking it naturally.
It feels like a different language.
In a way, it is. The language in a textbook is clean. Real life is messy. And the material we're looking at today is all about preparing you for that messy, authentic English.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to be super precise. We're running what we're calling the Stop and Unpack protocol.
I like the sound of that.
We've pulled four absolutely critical words and phrases from material on health, personality, and travel. I'm going to define them in plain English, give you examples.
Formal, casual, and even some weird ones.
And show you exactly how to use them so you can, actually sound natural.
The goal here is for you to not just recognize these words, but to really own them, to feel confident using them yourself.
And to make sure you stick around. I've got a little promise for you. A challenge.
Ooh.
At the end of this, we're going to tackle the single most misused adverb by English learners on the entire planet. I promise you, you've probably used it wrong this week.
I think I know which one you're talking about. It's a big one.
It's a huge one. We're going to fix it once and for all. So stick with us for that. A little pop quiz is waiting for you.
It's maybe one of the biggest keys to sounding fluent.
For sure. Okay, so before we jump in, you know the drill. If you're finding these deep dives helpful, if this is what you need to get to the next level, please just take a second.
It really does help.
Hit that subscribe button for Mastering English Podcast and give this deep dive a like. It helps us find all the other learners out there who are stuck on these same tricky words.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, to set the stage a bit, when we look at these big, comprehensive English courses, they are so structured. You've got your grammar unit, your vocabulary, pronunciation.
Brick by brick, it's like building a house, and you need that foundation. I mean, you absolutely need things like a grammar bank, a list of phrasal verbs, a sound bank.
They give you confidence.
They give you confidence and a system to understand. But what these materials also recognize is that once you get to that B1, maybe B2 level, the goal has to change.
How so? What's the change?
It shifts from just understanding the system to actually navigating the real world with it. A textbook is a controlled environment. The sentences are perfect. The vocabulary is predictable.
Right. No one mumbles in a textbook.
Exactly. No one mumbles. No one uses slang. No one speaks super fast with a weird accent. But in real life, that's all you get.
So these colloquial English sections that you see in the books, they're basically like a flight simulator.
That is the perfect analogy. It's the trial by fire. It's often an unscripted interview with a native speaker talking normally.
And that's where all the good stuff is hiding. The idioms, the phrasal verbs.
It's the gold. You can know every grammar rule in the book, but if someone says, I was gutted, my flight was called off, and you don't know gutted or called off.
It's lost the meaning.
Yeah.
The emotional meaning.
You've lost the connection. And fluency is all about connection. It's about flow, not just perfection.
So we need to practice for the real thing, not just for the test.
Precisely. And that real thing is built on these efficient little words. So let's start with the topic everyone can relate to, health and getting better.
Okay, yeah, so diving into this health vocabulary section, I saw something right away that I think is a super quick way to level up your English. It's the difference between the words illness and disease.
Yes, this is such a great distinction to master. A lot of native speakers even use them, interchangeably in casual chat.
Right. I think I do.
But in a formal or professional context, getting them right shows a lot of sophistication.
So walk us through it. Why aren't they the same thing?
Okay, so think of illness as the big general umbrella term. It's broad. It's often about the person's subjective experience, how they feel.
Okay, like the state of being sick.
Exactly. If I say, my uncle has a serious illness, that's very general. It focuses on his experience. It's not specific.
Got it. So what's disease?
Disease is the specific clinical objective term. It refers to a diagnosed medical condition.
A named thing.
A named thing, exactly. Something a doctor would identify, like heart disease, Parkinson's disease, malaria. It's a defined pathological process.
That is so useful. So if you're talking to your doctor, you'd use disease. If you're telling your friend you don't feel well, you'd probably say you have an illness.
Precisely. It instantly makes your English sound more precise and more formal when you need it to.
And in this whole context of feeling sick, the material lists a bunch of really useful phrasal verbs. Things like pass out, lie down, throw up.
All the fun ones.
Yeah, but there's one that seems way more important than the others because it's not just about being physically sick.
And that is our first target word for today.
This super common, sometimes confusing phrasal verb, get over. Okay, so my challenge to you is explain this one. I feel like learners hear it and just think it means recover.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that, isn't it?
It is so much more. And you're right, that's the key. Recover is usually just for physical healing or maybe like getting your money back after a loss. But get over is like this universal button for returning to normal. The core meaning is to successfully return to a healthy or stable state after a difficulty.
A stable state. That's the key phrase.
That's the key. And the difficulty can be anything that knocked you off balance. It could be the flu, a sad breakup, a huge shock, or even a bad quarter for your business.
So it's about getting back to equilibrium no matter what domain you're in.
You've got it. It's about returning to your baseline. Let's really dig into that with a few different contexts. We'll use our looping method.
Okay, let's loop.
So first, let's do a formal business context. Let's say a big company had a major product fail and they lost a lot of money.
Right.
A formal sentence would be, it took the company months to get over the bad financial quarter.
So it's not about being sick at all. It's about recovering financial stability.
Exactly. It's a very common metaphor in the business world.
Okay, now for the casual, emotional context. This is probably the one you hear the most.
Yeah, after a breakup or something. Perfect example. Your friend is really sad after a relationship ends. You could say, don't worry about the drama, you'll get over it by next week.
So you're talking about returning to emotional stability.
Precisely. Recovering from sadness or shock. Now for the fun one, the funny or weird context.
Okay.
Imagine you see something just completely bizarre, something you can't stop thinking about.
Like my neighbor mowing his lawn in a giant banana costume.
Perfect. You could say, I can't get over the shock of seeing my neighbor dressed as a giant banana.
Okay, that's brilliant. So when you say I can't get over something, it means you are still mentally processing the shock.
Yes. Your mental stability is still disrupted by how weird or funny or amazing it was. This is a very, very common colloquial phrase.
That makes so much sense now. It's not just about sadness, it's about any big emotion.
Any disruption. Okay, let's try to use it in a little role play. Let's expand on that emotional side. You start, you've had a setback.
Okay, so I really thought I was going to win that competition last month. I put so much work into it.
Yeah, I know. I saw how hard you worked. It must have been really disappointing.
It was. And I'm trying to move on, but every time I think about it, I feel that same sting of losing. I don't know how to shake it.
That's completely normal, but you know, that feeling, that sting, it's temporary. It just takes a bit of time, but you will get over it. I promise.
You think so?
Absolutely. You just need to let yourself feel it for a bit, and then you'll start to focus on the next thing. You'll find that stability again. That feeling won't last forever. You'll get over the disappointment.
Okay. So I just need to trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust that I will get over it.
You've got it. And to make it sound even more natural, remember the words that often go with it, the collocations.
Right.
You always get over something. So you get over a cold, get over a surprise, get over the difficulty. It needs an object.
Perfect. Okay. That's one word unpacked and I think fully recovered.
See what you did there?
I did. So from health, the source material moves on to personality.
A very natural transition from how we feel inside to how people see us on the outside.
And this section is all about descriptive language, and specifically something I love, compound adjectives.
Ah, yes. The super efficient language hack.
They're so good. Instead of saying, he is a person who has a temper that is very bad, you just say,
He's bad-tempered.
It's so much cleaner and stronger.
It is. And they follow a few patterns. You can have an adjective plus a noun plus ed, like narrow-minded.
Or a noun plus a past participle, like heartbroken.
And they give you this huge range of expression. The material gives us negative ones like tight-fisted, which means cheap.
Stingy.
Exactly. And positive ones like good-tempered or easygoing. But we're going to focus on my personal favorite.
Which is laid back.
The ultimate state of chill.
Okay, so here's my question. I think a B1 learner hears laid back and thinks it just means easygoing. Are they the same, or is there a nuance I'm missing?
Great question. They are very similar, but there is a key difference in nuance. Easygoing usually means someone is agreeable. They don't get angry easily. They're happy to go with the flow. Laid back has that, but it adds another layer. It suggests a deep, constant state of calm. It's more about their whole attitude towards life, their pace. A laid-back person is rarely stressed or worried about anything.
So easygoing is about how you interact with others, but laid back is more about your internal state of being.
That's a great way to put it. A laid-back person seems to move at a slower, calmer pace than everyone else. They have a relaxed attitude.
Okay, I think I get it. So an easygoing person will agree to pizza for dinner. A laid-back person might show up to that dinner 20 minutes late and not even seem bothered.
That is a perfect example. It's about a rejection of urgency. Let's loop it.
Let's do it.
First, the formal professional context. Imagine you're describing a manager who is super calm under pressure.
Okay.
You could say, despite the deadline pressure, the team leader remains surprisingly laid back, which helped keep everyone else calm.
So it's describing a professional approach, a management style.
Exactly. Now, casual context. This is where we often use it to describe places or atmospheres.
Right, like a vacation spot.
Yeah, perfect. We went to a small, laid-back cafe near the beach for lunch.
Okay, so a laid-back place is informal, relaxed, no stress.
No stress, no rush. Now for the funny or weird context, this is when the calmness is maybe a little extreme.
Ah, okay.
My dog is so laid back that he sleeps through the doorbell and fireworks.
That is one laid-back dog.
Or you could say, my coworker is so laid back, the building could be on fire and he'd probably finish his email before leaving.
That's maybe too laid back. That crosses a line from a positive trait to a negative one?
It can, and that's where the nuance is so important. Let's try it in a role play, and let's try to connect it back to get over.
Okay.
So I'm a bit worried about the new guy on our team.
Oh, yeah. Why? He seems smart.
He is smart, but he's almost too laid back. We had a major deadline yesterday, everyone was staying late, and he just packed up his bag at 5 o'clock on the dot.
Seriously. What did he say?
He just shrugged and said, it'll get done tomorrow. There was just no sense of urgency at all. That's a little too laid back for our team culture.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good. He needs to get over that attitude pretty quickly, or he's not going to last long here.
My thoughts exactly. If we miss that client's deadline, it's going to take us a long time to get over the damage to our reputation.
See. Perfect connection.
It all comes together. And remember the collocations. You can have a laid-back personality, a laid-back approach, or a laid-back atmosphere.
Got it. Okay, that's 2 down. Next up, we're transitioning into the travel unit.
And travel means movement, which in English means an absolute explosion of phrasal verbs.
For sure. The source material is full of them. Someone dropped me off, then I checked in, I filled out a form, and then the plane.
The plane took off.
And I love this little detail from a pilot interview in the text. They talked about the critical 8 minutes.
Yes. The 3 minutes after takeoff and the 5 minutes before landing, it's when the plane is most vulnerable.
That phrase just adds so much tension and importance to the word, doesn't it? It's not just a word, it's a critical action.
It is. And that brings us to our third target word, which is a big challenge for learners. Take off.
Okay, this one is a nightmare. Because it has, what, 3 completely different meanings that are all super common.
At least 3, yes.
So how do you keep them straight? How does a learner hear that phrase and instantly know if we're talking about a plane, a business, or a jacket?
This is where we have to appreciate how efficient English tries to be. Instead of creating 3 totally different verbs, it just recycles one short, simple phrase.
Which is great for native speakers, but tough for learners.
It creates a huge cognitive load, so you have to memorize the 3 primary contexts. That's the only way. So context 1,
The plane,
to begin flight. That's the literal one. Context 2,
a business or a career.
to become successful or popular very suddenly. Metaphorical one. And context 3,
Clothing.
to remove an item of clothing, the physical one. So flight, success, removal.
Attitude, profit, or apparel. Got it.
Let's loop them to really lock it in.
Loop away.
First, the formal aviation context. An airline pilot making an announcement. Due to the weather, we were unable to take off on schedule.
Clear, literal, no confusion there.
None. Okay, now the casual business context. Your friend's new online store is doing really well.
Right.
After the advertisement went viral, her sales quickly took off.
So it's about a sudden, dramatic rise. Like a rocket.
Exactly. The metaphor is all about that upward trajectory. Finally, the practical, funny context. Removing something.
Okay.
It was a tradition for the winner to take off their shirt and wave it around.
Slightly weird tradition, but grammatically clear.
The point is, the context tells you everything. You just have to be listening for it. Is the subject a plane, a sales chart, or a person wearing a hat?
It's all about pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Let's do a role play to tie them all together.
Okay, you start. Your new app just launched.
All right. Well, I really hope our new app takes off soon. The first few weeks have been a bit slow.
I'm sure it will. And listen, when it does take off, we should celebrate. We can afford to take off next week and go on a real vacation.
I would love that. To go somewhere warm where I can just take off my shoes and sit on a beach.
See? Success, a vacation, and your shoes. All in one conversation.
Beautiful.
And remember, the collocations depend on the context. The plane takes off from the ground, sales take off, or you take off your jacket.
Okay, we have landed that one. So now we're moving on to the final and I think most difficult theme.
Adverbs.
The little words that modify everything. The source material highlights common adverbs like obviously, amazingly, unfortunately.
And these are so key to sounding natural. They're like little signals to the listener about your attitude towards what you're about to say.
Right, they're not really describing the verb, they're describing your opinion of the whole sentence.
Exactly. They are all over native speech.
And that brings us to the big one, the word we promised to fix. Our fourth target word, which causes so much confusion. Okay, tell me why this one word is such a global problem for English learners.
It's almost 100% due to language interference, specifically from Romance languages like Spanish, French, Italian.
The false friend.
The ultimate false friend. In Spanish, you have the word actuellement. In French, actuellement. And what do they mean?
They mean currently or now?
Exactly. So learners see the English word actually, which looks and sounds so similar, and they assume it means the same thing. They use it to mean at this moment in time.
And to a native speaker, that just sounds off.
It sounds very strange because you're using a word contrast as a word of time.
Okay, so let's define it properly. What is the true function of actually?
The core function of actually is to introduce a surprising fact, to contrast expectations, or to emphasize the truth of a statement.
So think in fact or in reality.
Precisely. It's all about something being different from what you thought it was. It's about contrast, not time.
Contrast, not time. That needs to be on a t-shirt.
It does. Let's spend some serious time on the examples here because this one is crucial.
Okay.
Let's start with a formal context. Correcting a common misconception. Many people believe the company is struggling, but they are actually very profitable.
So the reality being profitable is contrasted with the assumption, which is that they're struggling.
Perfect. Okay, casual context. Emphasizing something is true, maybe to gently contradict someone.
Right.
Imagine your friend asks, "Did you remember to buy the tickets?" You could say, "Yes, I actually bought them yesterday."
So that just adds a little bit of emphasis, like, of course I did, and I even did it earlier than you thought.
Exactly right. It emphasizes the truth of the action. Now, a funny or weird one, correcting a small misunderstanding.
Okay.
I thought the gorilla at the zoo was angry, but he was actually just stretching.
Huh. Okay. So you're contrasting the perceived emotion, anger, with the real action, stretching.
You've nailed it. It's always about that contrast between perception and reality. I also notice people often use it with a little filler word before it.
Oh, like, well, actually.
Yes. That phrase, "well, actually," is a huge signal in conversation. It's a polite way of saying, what you just said is wrong and I'm about to correct you.
It's a verbal warning shot.
It is. Mastering that is a big step towards fluency. Okay, let's role play this one. Let's practice correcting a misconception.
Okay.
I'm going to start with an assumption about you. I assumed you hated that new superhero movie everyone's talking about.
Oh, well, that's a fair assumption. I usually don't like them. But actually, I loved it. I might even go see it again tomorrow.
Wow. See? That's a perfect use. My assumption was that you hated it. The reality, the surprising fact, is that you loved it. The actually signals that contrast.
If I had just said I loved it, it would be fine. But the actually adds that layer of surprise.
Exactly. And the collocations here are usually with words about truth or belief, what actually happened, what it actually means, or that's actually true.
Okay, this feels much clearer now. So I think it's time to tackle the big common mistake head on.
Let's do it. This is where we put it all together.
Right. So the classic sentence that a B1 learner would construct, they want to say that they are recovering from a cold right now. They say, I am actually getting over my cold now.
I hear that sentence structure a lot.
What is so fundamentally wrong with it?
The problem is that you have a word of contrast, actually, fighting with a word of time now. You're using actually to mean currently, which we just established it doesn't.
So it's just redundant and confusing?
It's confusing because the native speaker's brain hears actually and immediately looks for the contrast. What was the assumption?
And there isn't one.
There isn't one provided, so the word just hangs there, feeling out of place. So there are two ways to fix this sentence.
Okay, what's correction number one?
Correction one is if you really just mean to talk about time. In that case, you have to get rid of actually and use a real-time adverb.
Like currently or right now?
Exactly. So you would say, I am currently getting over my cold. Or, I'm getting over my cold right now. Simple, clear, correct.
Okay. But what if I really want to use actually? Because I want to sound more natural and add that element of surprise.
Then you have to do the work of setting up the contrast first. You have to tell the listener what the wrong assumption is before you correct it with the reality.
So you have to create the context.
You have to create the context. For example, you probably thought I was busy with work, but actually I was just relaxing, trying to get over my cold.
Ah, so the assumption is busy with work, and the reality is relaxing and getting over a cold. Now is it actually has a job to do?
Now it makes perfect sense. It's doing its job of contrasting expectation with reality. That is the single biggest takeaway for our listeners today. Stop using actually for time. Use it for surprise.
That is crystal clear. I feel like that alone was worth this whole deep dive.
It's a game changer for sounding natural.
Okay, so I think that means it's time to see if I've really learned anything.
It is time for the pop quiz. I'm going to give you and our listeners a little scenario. You just fill in the blank with the word we've unpacked today.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. It's about personality. He never stresses about small problems. He is very
laid back.
spot on. Perfect. Question 2. Action and movement. Please fasten your seatbelts because the plane is ready to.
The plane is ready to take off.
Correct. The literal meaning. Okay, question 3. The adverb of contrast. I thought the party would be small, but it was huge.
It was actually huge.
Perfect. You're contrasting the expectation of small with the reality of huge.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Recovery. It takes a long time to the loss of a close friend.
It takes a long time to get over the loss of a close friend.
4 for 4. Fantastic work.
I feel like focusing so deeply on just 4 words has, I don't know, unlocked something about how English really works.
It really does. So to summarize for everyone, we covered get over for that return to stability. We did laid back for that relaxed, unhurried personality.
Then take off with its 3 meanings for flight, success, and removal.
And of course, actually the adverb of contrast and surprise, not of time. If you can master just these 4, your fluency will take a huge leap forward.
That's the goal. Moving away from the textbook and into the real world.
And that really connects back to the core idea from the learning material. Real mastery doesn't come from one big, stressful study session.
Right.
It comes from being consistent, from finding these little linguistic nuggets every day and really taking the time to understand them, turning dense information into usable knowledge.
I love that. And being consistent is the only way to get over that feeling of being stuck at the intermediate level.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now it's your turn. We have a micro challenge for you. We want you to put this knowledge into practice immediately.
Right now.
Today, your mission is to use the word laid back to describe someone or something. Use it in a real conversation, send it in a text message, or just drop a sentence in the comments below. Make the knowledge stick by using it.
That's the only way it becomes part of your active vocabulary.
We really hope this deep dive helped you feel more confident about tackling real unscripted English.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mastering English Podcast.
I'm Alex. See you next time.